Alright, says I'm recording. Good. Yeah, I'm pre-recording this because I might have something I'm doing this weekend. I'm not sure it's either this weekend or next weekend, but I figured better safe than sorry. So, let's get going. Yes. I know this has been an interesting week. Let me see. The Galaxy Civ 3 Intrigue, which, a lot of fun. And that really is a lot of fun. I have been enjoying that. I will be doing more of that. And unfortunately, I've been having to, once I finished taking care of that review, I got buried working on something else that is, it's coming. I got one third of the data ready, ish. I thought it was ready weeks ago, and they just kept deciding. It's like, maybe I should try this to process the data and see what happens. It's produced some interesting and I think informative results. But I want to collect 2 more data sets. I just haven't done that yet. But I am definitely looking forward to getting back to the Intrigue. It really is fun, and I want to do more crazy stuff with the compliments. Like starting one immediately so I have an ally right off the bat, and just see if I can use that to take advantage of another research source, essentially. I don't know if it'll work though. It might not. But also, this week, earlier today actually, because this is the Friday, and I normally stream Saturdays, the AMD pre-orders for the 2nd gen Ryzen CPUs went live, which is definitely interesting. Let me see, the pre-orders went live today, so we know the pricing, we know the stated specs, and also the unboxing embargo lifted, which is a weird thing. You have an embargo for unboxing videos? But I mean, they are popular, so I guess it makes sense. You'd expect those to exist, so you'd also want to say, yeah, you can put those out early, just, you can't put anything too substitute, like performance numbers. That waits until the 19th. And that will be interesting to see. I know that some places it started coming out sooner, either by breaking embargo or because they got their things another way. I haven't written up any news items on that yet, though. Just how the time has worked out. I've had a busy day. But I have been seeing different rumors for their performance, which, based on the rumors, it looks like something that I want to say people have been saying, have been predicting since months ago. And like at the earliest rumors, that this is, if you already got the 1st gen Ryzen, you don't need to upgrade to the 2nd gen. Unless it's not at the same level. You don't necessarily need the upgrade. Maybe that won't be true. Maybe there will be really significant stuff. And it's completely possible, because even some of the leaked review numbers that have been out, there have been weird qualifiers to them. Like it being, some of them have been on the B350 chipset, which is not as high a level as the X370 chipset, and both those are the 1st generation chipsets, not the 2nd generation chipsets. Why am I going to so that there may still be more performance there that we haven't seen yet from those rumors, because this stuff not being enabled. I know there was a Band of the Griffin thing. Here. Nah. I'm glad I got. But it still seems reasonable that, in general, just to expect that, yeah, unless you're going from one of the Ryzen 3s to a Ryzen 5 or 7, probably not going to need to upgrade anyway. And unless, well, I could see one scenario. Just because the integrated memory controller is supposed to be...
Sorry, this gate's closed.
Okay, what do I need? Oh, that's not what I meant to do. That's what I wanted. Oh, it's down there. I don't remember how to get up here. Wait, maybe... Is that it? I don't remember. Anyway, the IMC is supposed to be provide better support for faster memory. Maybe if you're doing something that is particularly memory or just latency in general, because that is also supposed to be improved. Maybe those workloads, it would be worth upgrading. I can't name the workloads that are sensitive to that. I do not doubt they exist. I just don't know what they are. But me personally, it's like I've got my 1950X, and there's apparently going to be a Zen Plus Threadripper. I mean, that was announced at CES, I think it was, which did surprise me. I really didn't think they would that they would actually do Zen Plus. I would think that they would wait till Zen 2. Because of how the Epic and Threadripper platforms are so linked. I wouldn't think that they would want a refresh for Epic. I mean, maybe they won't do a Zen Plus Epic. That's possible. It just, I don't know. My thinking, which is purely mine, not based on anything, just, I would think that because servers and the like that put Epic in, you don't upgrade those often enough to make a next year refresh worth it. But, you know, I honestly don't know that. It's just to me, I wouldn't think that would be necessary, but, you know, I can easily be wrong.
This door is locked.
Sealed by quest. What is the quest? Speak to the yellow emperor. That's... He's out. Way out there. Alright. So it must be just like down here then. That's open, and that's it. Right? I hope so. Yep. But, yeah, going back to that, I'm happy with the 1950X. I don't... Whatever replaces it would have to be, you know, tremendously advanced to even make me think that, oh, maybe it would be nice to upgrade. It's like, no, I got what I wanted to be able to do with it. It lets me do. I wish I had read a little bit more into what I wanted to do. No, that's not a thing against the processor. That's just, I wanted it for better video encoding. Like right now, I'm using the X264 encoder. X264 is great. And it loves multiple threads, which this can throw at it like nobody's business. Some of the filters I use, though, for processing, and I know I've talked about this before, are single-threaded. So they bottleneck it. But on the bright side, it means that I can use the very slow preset, so I'm getting the most efficient compression that I can get with X264, basically. So, you know, that's how severe the bottleneck is. But it's still, I'm happy with that. And also, yeah, let's try this. Maybe it was on the previous build. I figured out how to more efficiently chain together the video processing jobs I do, so that the moment one finishes, the next one starts. It's very, very helpful. Saves me a lot of time. Also figuring out how to pause. And it almost the way you pause FFmpeg, or any command line actually, process that's running, it appears, is a lot simpler than you think. And almost obvious. Maybe I shouldn't say command line, but command prompt. You hit pause break. So you hit the pause button on the keyboard to pause it. Thing is, I never know what... I couldn't tell you what pause break is used for. I never think of that key even existing, so that's why I had to look it up however many weeks ago or months ago to realize that. But that is really nice, because then when I got a lot of videos I need to process, I can hit that, I can go and actually record another set of videos, and then just add it into the batch file for the command, for doing the processing, and start it up again by hitting enter, and it just goes, and it's great. It's great how that works. Oh, let me see, what else can I talk about? One thing that... Was it this week that actually got explained? Or was it last week? This week is a little muddled in my mind. There had been the appearance of the 500... the Radeon RX 500X series GPUs on AMD's website even. So this isn't like just some weird rumor, it was a, no, this web just exists and actually has stuff there. It's not just throwing errors like if you would have put in 600 series instead of 500. That did get clarified though. Apparently it's just a OEM only version of the 500 series, not really a full-on new GPU. I mean, maybe there are some tweaks to it. Honestly, I wish that they would do some tweaks. And this would go for Intel and Nvidia as well. Just over time, you do get a little bit better at it. And to my knowledge, and I could just not know this, I don't think that BIOS is and such get tweaked to like lower the voltage and such. Because like, we don't need it to as much now because the process has gotten more refined, the design has gotten more refined. So, you know, we can have this thing run a little bit better, a little bit more efficiently. And so if that's what it would, if that's what it was that this 500X would be, that would have been awesome. Maybe that is still the case, but they're going to OEMs only. So companies like Dell, HP, Lenovo.
Once I was a powerful general, caught up in the illusion of life. Then I was disgraced by my failure to stop them. Having no need for weapons or armor, I threw all I...
Yeah, and just seeing that would be neat. But you do run into the... you do run into the issue of that with how boosting works and how that's dependent on you could run into the issue of, well, now you've got, you know, the same, what should be the same GPU, potentially running noticeably different, if not significantly different, just because it can boost better later on. But still, that's just... I'd also be crazy and see if there's any way to have built-in sensors. Like Infinity Fabric has a lot in there. I'm sure Intel and Nvidia also have their own sensors built in too. I just don't know the name of that. The name of the system that has it. But something like that to monitor and drop the voltage, determine that and drop it. Because, well, they do already do that. It's like that's all part of the precision boost kind of stuff and turbo boost. Pretty sure that also allows the voltages to be decreased. Might be able to tighten up the tolerances though. But actually trying to automate that would not be easy. I'm insane though. I've tried. I'd have no idea how to do it, but I would try. Anyway. I am really just trying to go off my memory. It wasn't this week. Was it last week? The G-Skill showing off that they hit, I think it was 5,000 megahertz, 5 gigahertz on memory sticks. It's like, that's That's nuts. That is absolutely insane. And they did it on an air-cooled, I think it was 16 gig kit. It's like, that's just... It is amazing what is being achieved. Oh shit, come on, come on. That's right, I hate those guys. Because they do just... That shit. The sorcerers, they put out way more damage than I feel they should. Especially for being ranged as well. Yeah, 5 gigahertz on air from memory. That's... I do not doubt there are people that would use that. Wow. Was that last week? Was it 2 weeks ago? I don't remember, but... It makes you wonder, what is DDR5 gonna give us? Like, will we... What will be possible with that? Then that's, you know, always the question. You know, whenever you go to a completely new design. You always have the question of, how does the highest performance of what you saw before compare? It's always a question. Something else I saw, there were some rumors, I personally don't really put much stock into them, that Navi, which is the succeeding GPU architecture, to be more specific, after Vega from AMD. Some was saying that maybe the next Polaris, in that it's not a high performance, it will be a very high efficiency. Which that actually, you know, kind of brings back the whole tweaking voltages and such later on, because it's like there were demos AMD showed off the efficiency of Polaris, where you had a GTX 980 performance in a package that could use far less power. That would use less power and would be, what was it at launch supposed to be? 200, 250, depending on if you got the 4 or 8 gig, which, you know, was pretty damn good. And people found that if you undervolt it, you can get a lot more out of it. But the thing is that at launch, you had the issue. Apparently, they pushed the voltages up quite high, which is something AMD just has a reputation for doing that. The funny thing is, I'll bet Intel and Nvidia also do that as well. It just doesn't get as noticed. Increasing voltages will let it have higher stability. I'm sure there are interesting graphs at all these companies, plotting out, okay, at this we can have this speed, but we need this voltage in order to have the 99% of the components be able to be sold at that level, and so on. A lot of it comes down to math in the end. But yeah, and just the idea that just that is, that doesn't seem to make much sense to me. It feels more to me like these are rumors that people are just starting because they don't think that AMD can have a GPU success, which is also really silly because Vega is in some ways a very good success. It just isn't necessarily the tip-top of the line for gaming. But even then, we're seeing that not always be true. Far Cry 5 has been very good for it. Wolfenstein 2, very good for it. You know, it seems to become a question of implementation. It's also worth noting, Vega is the first architecture to be fully DirectX 12 compliant. No other GPU is, only Vega. Because there's 3? I think it's 3 feature levels to DirectX 12. There's the DirectX 11 feature level, which is just 11 underscore 0, I believe. 12, which is 12 underscore 0, and then 12.1. And while you have seen, like, Polaris actually supports some parts of 12.1, but not all, and the Pascal also supports some parts of 12.1, but not all. Vega's the first to actually support all. Now, of course, we're not seeing that stuff necessarily being used yet, but it is there. Which that kind of reminds me of people, when 3D Mark Time Spy, it's DirectX 12 benchmark. A lot of people were really upset. It's like, oh, it's horrible. It's no good. It's no good. Why? Because it only used the DirectX 11 feature set. And to me, it's like, well, it's meant to be a benchmark, which means you want things to be able to run it. You don't want to make it where nothing can run it. I mean, the thing about Time Spy is, what, 2-3 years old at this point? Wow, that's kind of weird to think about. Because that was not, I don't think that was only 17, I think that may have been 16 that it was launched. But you have to, it's now with Vega that there's a GPU, so it would have been like a year and a half maybe between Time Spy being out and something that could actually, if you had a full-on DirectX 12 tech demo that's every feature is being deployed there, it would have taken you that long before you had something that could actually run it. That's you can't do that when you're trying to make a benchmark for comparing things. If you want a tech demo, that's fine, but that's not what its purpose is. So it used the feature level 11, which means that the various GPUs that launched only DirectX 11 compatible, but could be made to support DirectX 12, which I'm pretty sure that was all GCN. Maxwell, because Maxwell predates DirectX 12. I know NVIDIA eventually added support for DirectX 12 to Kepler and Fermi. I just don't remember when. Fermi was fairly recently. I don't remember when Kepler got it. But Kepler would, if it got DirectX 12 support, it would have been as part of the whole, well, there's, it can't do some of the really fancy DirectX 12 stuff. It's DirectX 11. It's limited to that feature set. How did I get to talking about this? I was talking about Vega and, oh yeah, that's right, the Navi rumors. Yeah, I did also see some people pointing out something interesting, that Navi, there are 2 things that were stated on a roadmap a while ago, and things can change, especially on a roadmap, about what Navi is supposed to be, what Navi is supposed to bring. One is the word of scalability, and the other was next-gen memory, which no one knows what either really means. The speculation for scalability is that it will be akin to Ryzen. Use a I'd say multi-die module more than multi-chip, because it's like the whole package to me is sort of the chip. But anyway, an MCM design. So it would have multiple GPU dies in there that could connect together. Some people, it's like that is an interpretation of, in which case, a single die being only on the level of a GTX 1080 may not be so bad if you can tie 2 together in such a way that it isn't crossfire, it is just treated as a single die. It's like if you manage that, then you could have similar kind of launch as Ryzen, where you have a part that is launching at around $300. What was the 1700 at? device and 1700. What did I launch at? Like 330? I think it was around that. And it had the same number of cores and threads as a $1,000 Intel part. Yeah, that would, 2 GTX 1080s, I don't know how cheap it would be, but let's just say $400. So, you know, that would be almost double what Polaris was. 2 GTX 1080s, I think, beat a GTX 1080 Ti. $400, that's supposed to be what, a $700-800 card? That would be very, very phenomenal. So, is that possible? Maybe. I don't know, but that is one spin that people are putting on that. Personally, I don't know how much I really believe in the rumor that it's going to be not, that's only going to be mainstream. It's not going to be high end. I just don't think that that'll end up being the case. It could be. I don't feel like that'll be it. Unless it is going to be, I mean, I guess it also wouldn't make much sense to me. But again, this is just me working in my head. Why would you have it be only at the level of 1080? Why would you only have it be mainstream when it may very well be the last?
How could you pass up such a staff as this? Or have you seen the craftsmanship on this
GCN-based
bracelet?
GPU as we have it right now? Because that's another rumor that is going around, that the next gen, I think that's really all I have for it as a name. What comes after Navi will be a replacement for GCN. Will be completely changed. Which that is also something I'm a little dubious of. So it's just a weird thing right now. I wouldn't, and just because of that, I wouldn't think you'd want to.
Sun and wind at
I
your
would think
back,
that you would
not in
want
your
something
eyes.
you really trust is able to go to a high level, so that way you know basically have a full product stack before you go to something completely different and have to rebuild your product stack around it. And also, it's like you may be limited in how you can release too, because you know you may launch it a new, completely new architecture. You may want to launch it at one end, maybe at the high end, in which case then using the mainstream from before may not be so bad. But what if you want to launch it at the mainstream? What if that's the first thing you can really get out there? Or what if that's just where you feel you can experiment with first? It's not a high margin area, but it's still, you may like that better. I'm talking about this, but it's still, I find those rumors unlikely. Could be wrong, but that's, and even then it's what, probably, what are other rumors saying? 2019, the earliest for Navi. So it'd be months. Seagraph would probably be the first inkling of actual information from AMD about Navi. And that's in what, September? August? By then, though, they would probably have... I'll be stopping soon since I found that. They'd probably have the 7nm machine learning focused Vega. They probably have that out, and that's what I'll talk about mainly. And yeah, also have, if Navi's ready, something of Navi to talk about. But yeah, it just, we'll see. It it'll also be interesting just to find out what is next gen meant, because that was on a roadmap. It's like, 'cause at the time HBM 2 was still. It's like I don't think that was really even out yet. I think it may have been finalized, the design may have been finalized, but it wasn't out. Then some people pointing out, well, at the time of that roadmap, it's possible, because HBM 3 is not soon. So some were saying that it's possible that just HBM 3 so slipped that they thought that they'd have HBM 3 then, in time for Navi, but that may not be the case. I don't know. Could also be that next gen is meant to be GDDR6. Don't know if that'll happen. I mean, you'd probably end up having both GDDR6 and HBM3 used in a single product stack, because this ties, by the way, this thing ties into a, I looked it up, I was curious, because I have one on the other character too. Ties into like a secret mission that was added, I don't remember how many months ago now, but part of Ragnarok as well. So it's basically, I do need to hold on to that. Ah, crap, I lost my train of thought. What the hell was I talking about specifically? Oh, yeah, it would make sense for GDDR6 to stay in the mainstream with HBM at the higher end, both because, well, HBM2, it's kind of weird. GDDR6 has the potential to actually outpace the HBM2 we see on Vega. Here's the thing, HBM2 on Vega we know is slow HBM2. Yeah, it's, HBM2 was so delayed, and ultimately, like, AMD wanted to have faster HBM2 on there, but it apparently just couldn't. It wasn't ready, so they had to launch with less than what they wanted. Still pretty good. Still gets the job done. But it's like, is it Aquabolt? Is that the name of Samsung's basically second generation HBM2 that's significantly faster? I remember writing up that news item, but it's been a while. Yeah, it's like that would still outpace GDDR6 quite a bit, but apparently, like, the current HBM2 on Vega, GDDR6 could be faster than, but I don't. It might still take more power. I just don't remember. But I mean, when you think about HBM, even if it is going to remain more expensive, which may change, I've actually seen sometimes people have done breakdowns of it, and the actual cost to HBM2 is actually not that much higher than GDDR whatever. In part because the PCB, the actual physical size of the graphics card can be so much smaller. But in any case, HBM, because of it being on the package, means that you can use far less power to run it. Which I would think that also means that you could, it'll be a more efficient card. That I would think that means, well, then you can also get more out of the same setup, the same power setup. Which is, I would think that would be very desirable and helpful on high-end cards. I don't know, but I don't know for certain, but that would seem to make sense. It's like there's more. There's only so much power that will be provided to a graphics card through the PCI Express slot and the PCIe cables. So if you can make more of it available to the GPU, assuming the GPU can't take advantage of it, because not all will be able to. So it may still work out in your favor.
Come again?
Alright, Let's get care of this
What
stuff.
you cannot part with.
Then stop.
Leave with me.
Get to bed. See you tomorrow. And yeah. Soul Prism. Do I already have one of these? I do not. I have 3 of those. Right.
Sorrow
There.
no.
And I'll be spawning back by the other thing. Oh man, I rambled so much, didn't I? It's what I do, though. It's what I do. At least I'm able to keep talking. That can be useful. I just wish I could remember better, and also, well, remember what I was talking about, so I can, you know, don't lose my train of thought so much, and remember more things that I can talk about. Anyway, see you next time. Which, next time may also be pre-recorded, depending on when the thing is that's going to be on a weekend, which weekend that is. Anyway, see ya.